Yeah, McDaniel says Tua's driving the ball with more force on some throws that he's internally trying to put some more velocity on. Effortless is the word that keeps coming up with the discussion. McDaniel says Tua is doing things he's done in the past, but it looks more effortless now with regards of throwing and growth in year 3. On why Tua shed some weight, his program last year was strength, him getting stronger, and the unintended consequence of how he saw his game, his strength increased, but he felt he excuse me, he felt he could have had the same amount of strength and reshape his body and be a little lighter on his feet. McD says Devon Achan felt that there was more out there for him with the opportunities he had last year, and having a full offseason practicing football with the Dolphins should afford him that opportunity to understand. That's why he's created more opportunities to get the ball. Let's see. And on what the team has produced in OTAs, we've had a tremendous offseason of growth in our schematics and fundamentals because guys have taken advantage of opportunities. So, let's see. On how Tua can grow in year 3, you have 2 years under your belt together where you have seen his game progress. Year 3, we really got to take a step back and assess not just the things he liked, but what are some of the things he hasn't looked comfortable with in the past. That way we could get him to some comfort level, our connectivity with how he sees things and what we're trying to do with each assignment that can always get cleaner, and it has. Saw growth and development last week with specific things we're asking him to do. And McDaniel says he feels there's no reason Tua can't make similar strides from year 2 to year 3 as he did from year 1 to year 2. So listen, again, none of this is anything shocking or surprising, but I will tell you what this is. It's great news. That's the way you got to look at it. Why? Because he is doing whatever it takes to be better. And as you go along in life, we all live and learn, right? And we live and learn on how to do things the right way, the wrong way. We live and learn how to do something better and all those kind of things. And so he is now figuring this out because from, college to the NFL, it's a hell of a jump. And it took Drew Brees several years to kind of figure it out. It took Rich Gannon like 9 years to figure it out. Right? Sometimes that's kind of the way it is. And Tua is way ahead of Brees and Rich Gannon and some other guys because he's had success, but it's obviously you want to keep building on that success and having more success. Part of it. I mean, he's been in the MVP conversation the last 2 years. Drew Brees was not in that MVP conversation the first couple of years of his existence. Kurt Warner, was cut several times, had to go to an arena league before he finally, found his way. This happens all the time. Trevor Lawrence is still trying to figure things out. This past year, the kid in Philadelphia, what's his name, took like a step back. He was the poster child for everybody. He was the darling, and then Hurts took a couple steps back this year. This league will humble you. This league will also test how good you really are. And so in the process, you're going to have to learn. You're going to go look at Terry Bradshaw's start of his career. It doesn't matter. This happens all the time in football. There are some guys that make a quick transition. There are some guys that it takes them a little bit, and there are some guys it takes them forever. The problem that we have here is we are stuck in a situation where you haven't seen one in so long that you overlook the progress that the one you currently have is making. How many quarterbacks, how many young quarterbacks around the league can fans say, well, my guy's been in the MVP conversation the last 2 years? Very few. But people overlook that. Oh, Tua's got to win the playoffs. He's been in the playoffs one time, dude. One time in the worst situations. And all I constantly hear is comparisons to Lamar Jackson. The guy he's beaten more than, than Jackson's beaten him the last 3 years. The guy that has a losing record in the playoffs. I wonder if Tua was 2-4 in the playoffs, 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and 57% completion percentage in six games in the playoffs, 2-4. I wonder how they would Tua's only been in the playoffs one time. That's it. One time. He's helped get his team to the playoffs 2 years in a row. Because without Tua, you're not in the playoffs. But he's physically only been in the playoffs one time in the worst case scenario. And they make it sound like he's been going to the playoffs for years and failing for years. It's just one of those things where I just think so many of you don't really understand what you have. And then at the same time, you don't appreciate what you have. So I am incredibly happy that this young man does what it takes to get better every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, every single game. That's why I have zero doubts that this guy is going to be a great quarterback for a long time to come. And eventually he will be embraced by everybody and appreciated by everybody. But it's going to take a little bit because some of you out there are, I don't know. I'm going to go J-Lo. Difficult.